Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Ietsie Klein Podcast. I'm your host, Hatreda. It's Monday morning for me today. My house has been the party house this weekend, so I've been struggling to find time to film. Hence why my hair is a little bit wet, because I just got out of the shower and realized that the boys went for breakfast. So I have like an hour window to quickly film something. But yeah, it has been great fun seeing all my friends and to hang out with everybody. And so during this time, I didn't knit too much. I just knit a little bit. So in this week, I finished the block section, part 3 of the Vertices Unite. So it goes from a lovely, like, I don't know what to call that color. What would you call this color? It's like it's a purple, but it's a pinky purple. It's like a, I don't know, violet maybe? But it's too dark for violet. I don't know. But it goes from that color to a color that I would definitely describe as purple. What I also did this week is work on my Eclipse of the Moth sweater. This time I remembered the name correctly. So I've done quite a lot of the color work. So you can see the moon starting to come out there. And with my next row, I'm going to start with the antenna of the moths. So I'm quite excited for that. This is probably what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. That is an update on my projects. Very short, very sweet, because the meat of today's podcast is going to be Local Yarn Shop Day. So, Local Yarn Shop is an event that happens all across the world. It's not just a local event, it's everywhere, usually the last weekend in April. And what happens is that there's an organization that like grabs people together, and then designers and local yarn shops both sign up to the program, and you get matched with a designer, and then you get patterns from them that you can then give to your constituents. So usually it's on the basis of buying a kit for the pattern from the local yarn shop. Sometimes it's if you attend an event, sometimes it's just giving it away with a sale. It's up to the local yarn shop owner how to distribute these codes then. But the codes are very short-lived, so it's only for like that weekend. So they probably expired by now if you did have one. But yeah, I think that it's a lovely initiative, and it gives space to a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily be seen. And yeah, I quite like the idea of it. So what I've done for Local Yarn Shop Day is not necessarily to buy a kit, but to support all of my local suppliers of various products. So yeah, we did a like road tour kind of thing of all of our favorite places within Johannesburg and Pretoria. So we went by Little Yarn Craft. She hosted Woolen Floss and Woolies for the day. Her kits was made up by Black Cat Yarn Dye Works. I think Dreamspell had a colorway. No, not Dreamspell. Woolen Floss had a colorway, and Woolies had a colorway. So in that spirit, I bought from Woolen Floss and from Woolies. So Woolen Floss makes fantastic braids. So I bought 4 of them, this like really limey yellow fun color, and then this one, as well as this pinky one. They're so fluffy, they just want to pop out. And then this autumny colors one. And then I also bought a project bag from her. Here it is. Hang on, let me just make it pretty quick. There we go. So it's the perfect size for a pair of socks or gloves or a smaller type of project, like one of those one skein shawl kind of jobbies. But it does fit. Something else that I've bought recently from her, which is the Bunny Rabbit surprise baggie. So this one's still full of the yarn from her. So you can go and have a look on my Insta. I've posted what they look like. They look like little Easter eggs. They're so cute. And then from Woolies, I bought 4 skeins of a yarn that has been talking to me for months now. So it's this light gray with these pops of fuchsia and a darker bluish, blackish color. But it's lovely. So this is in the merino linen base that is a DK, and it's 180 meters per 100 grams. I have no idea what I'm going to make with these. Maybe a love note, maybe not, maybe something else. I'm not decided yet, but I quite like them. Actually, let me put them in my stash while I'm here. There we go. Okay, from the little yarn craft, we went over to the yarn room. So I have pilfered the yarn room already for yarn. So I have quite a lot of them here, and I'm using them in one of my current projects. So I didn't buy yarn, but I did buy tools, because your girl starts projects like nobody's business. So I bought a 55 and a 35 centimeter small cable. Yes, I'm glad I got these. They will make my crafting life a lot better, because then I don't have to like cycle my cables between different projects for a bit. And then from there, we went to the Stoepmark. So the Stoepmark is quite an interesting event. It is something that happens at the end of every month, the last Saturday of every month, except for next month. Next month, it's the second last Saturday. The last Saturday falls on like a 31st or something like that. So they just moved it a week earlier. I think that means he also has an event that happens that she needs to make space for. So it's a slight adjustment, but we can deal. So for the Stoepmark, what happens is that it's a bunch of yarn shops that come together at this lovely restaurant called R&R Bistro in Valeria Park. I hope I pronounced that area correctly. And then they get together there and they sell their stuff, and you can have some breakfast at the restaurant. So it's Mincy from Not to Habit that started the market, and then Mariki from Colors of Amalfi joins her, as well as a brand new cotton brand called Bethany that I still want to try. I didn't end up buying anything on that day because I bought all this other stuff, but I'll definitely try it when I have another cotton project coming up. I just very, very, very rarely use cotton. But yes, so from Mincy, I bought stitch markers, these cutesy little mushroom boys. Look at them, they're so cute. And then also yarn. So you guys remember my color experiments I did with the green and the pink on the DU yoke? So it's been sitting on my dining room table. So my dining room table is like the timeout box for a lot of my projects, because I see it every day when I walk past it, and I can think about it and I can decide what I want to do with it. So what I wanted with that project was sort of a major look type of color work where you can't see it very clearly, but it is there. And I really love the design of the DU yoke. I really do. But what I found is with the green and the pink, it's a little bit too much movement that's happening. So then the major look type of effect doesn't really happen. You need a little bit more of a bolder type of pattern that has more of both of the colors that's showing than what the DU yoke does on either which colors, because it has a lot of bold patterns, but I don't think it's perfect for that particular look that I'm going for. So my decision was that I still want to use the pink and the green together, but I think I'm only going to use one skein of the pink, and then the DU yoke do need 2 skeins of your contrast color. So I bought another one so it can go with the other one that's still in my stash, and then a contrast color that will contrast with it very, very strongly. So I got this lovely gray. It is called Battleship. That's funny. The blue that I use for my husband is called Naval Base, and this is Battleship. That's kind of cute. But yeah, so I think that this is going to work much, much better for the DU yoke. So I'll cast that on somewhere when I'm ready for it. And now these guys can go into my stash as well. Look at us go. Okay, that's it. Cool. So, that is all my adventures from Local Yarn Shop Day, and it was really fun to see everyone as well because everybody came out to support their favorites. And I saw Jane, and she gave me some jam. I did pay for the jam, but yeah, so she made jam, and she was willing to either barter or get paid for it. For me, it's just easier to pay for it. And I saw a lot of other people that I really love, like Alex. Alex has spun the fleece from 2 years ago and last year's Karoo Winter Wool Festival that she got, and it is lovely. If it wasn't for the fact that processing fleece is so tedious, I totally would have jumped on that ship. But it is such a hard job to process a fleece and get to the point of spinning it. It's like if you buy just a braid, like let's say this one, it's pretty much ready to go. You might decide to steam it if you want to do a little bit more of a poofy woolen spun, or you could divide it and do a fractal spin if there's like a color flow that goes or something like that. But not really, you don't get that feeling of raw fleece, like raw fleece having been processed by hand and then spun. There's a spirit to it that is just absolutely gorgeous. So I have a lot of respect for Alex for pushing through and actually doing it, because I know myself, I would not. I would give up. But yeah, other than that, there is a few events that's coming up. So Karoo Winter Wool Festival is happening in July, as you know, and AJ is running a Karoo Winter Wool Festival sweat and knit along on Instagram. So if you want to, go check out her Instagram page. It's KJ Crochet, but spelled with a K, not a C, for crochet. And yeah, you can come join us if you like. Just to knit a sweater along until the 1st of July, I think, is when the actual festival happens, and that's our deadline. So I think 2 months for a sweater, it's a little bit tight, but it's doable. I think I'm going to be entering my moth sweater into that whole jam. And yeah, there is also a Joburg Stipmark coming up on the 10th of May that you are welcome to join. There is 2 movies that's getting shown at the place where it's being held. It's at 44 Stanley. There's a little indie bioscope that's there. So you can choose if you want to go see one of the 2 movies. Both of them will be knit and cinema events. So with other words, they keep the house lights on and you can work on your project while watching the movie. The first one is an Afrikaans movie called The Quicksilvers, and the second one is an English movie called Dirty Dancing. I don't jam with either one of them, so I'm just going for the vibes. And yeah, I think that's about it for this video. It was a little bit on the short side, but I wanted to have the feature be all the beautiful makers and indie dyers and yarn shops that we have in our local area, more than talking about a particular thing. So yeah, I speed ran through that. A lot of these makers you can buy online from. I think Volenflas doesn't have an online shop, but she does have her catalog on her Insta. So you can look her up. I will put links below for all of the shops that I've mentioned, so that you can go and check them out if you want to. Almost everybody else do have online shops. But if you don't like online shopping, most of them are happy to facilitate a sale if you contact them directly. You don't have to do online shopping. And quite a few of them do have regular availability. So the yarn shops obviously are in a particular location. You got to go to them. But Mincy and Colors of Amalfi and all of the other indie dyers, they tend to have like little pop-ups everywhere. So Volenflas makes a few appearances at Little Yarn Craft, as well as at the Yarn Tree, which is another Joburg yarn shop. And I know that Vollies goes to a market called the bus stop market ever so often. She does post on her Instagram when she goes, so just keep an eye on it. And yeah, it's nice. Support local, guys. It was really fun talking to you guys, and I hope that you have a fantastic Wednesday further, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.